stinking prostitute. You have a moon on your back, they want to see. They want to see if you are man from your belly. They want to know how much man you had before, and if you're strong enough to take any more. I have a pride and I have my ambition. I want to hold my head up high as a woman. So brother, they go keep their money, I go keep my honey and die with my dignity.
Yes, indeed, of course, you caught me, of course, adjusting Joshua's top, yes, his jersey, his T-shirt, because, of course, I thought that he didn't properly attire himself for the purpose for which we are here gathered. Joshua, come on a little more, of course, you want to be fully in the picture, yes, indeed. Boy, every day this man like he half-sided, you know, I don't know, come on, I don't know why. Anyhow, that being as it may, let's make sure that everything is up and running. Yes, indeed, of course. Well, the music is designed for the big people session of the program, so he will be with us, Joshua that is, after a long hiatus, a long absence. It seems to me, because I missed him on the program, but certainly being here tonight, I am really feel grateful, one, and at the same time feel a proud father to be the son of such a young man who is prepared, of course, to engage the international population, whether you are in Trinidad, or whether you're in Barbados, whether you are in Tobago, or whether you are in the United States, or whether you are in any one of the continents, including, of course, Europe, Africa, and, of course, Asia. All of those continents we will be touching, of course, and the persons who are so desirous of listening to us from 8 o'clock Trinidad and Tobago time, certainly. But of course, tonight we will be looking at and hoping that we will get to Andy. Andy is somewhere in St. Vincent. I don't want to still give away his location because of threats, but let's see. We anticipate that Yellow will bring home the goodies, so to speak, as far as the Vincentian elections are concerned. But we'll deal with that afterwards, all right? Well, of course, Joshua is here, so let him give his salutations, his introductions, and then, of course, we will ask him a few questions because he has been absent for a little while. And then, of course, we will have him make his departure for Big People session. You see. Yeah, yes. Yeah. All right, he asked me for something. He asked me for something. Oh gosh, I don't know what to say. He asked me for something. Yes, so I suppose he wants to share it with you himself. All right, so that being as it may, Joshua is here. So let's hear, for example, what happened in school today? Those are the basic questions. What happened in school today? How school is going? When tests will begin? And all of that. Come here.
School going good. And
Good,
tests will begin next week.
Test will begin next week. But of course, don't forget, you have to say,
good night, everybody.
beautiful. Must learn that etiquette, that, of course, manners.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I want to say, cut my fast, my water.
You must not forget. Still, you mustn't forget. No matter how cut off you would have gotten. All right, and let's not argue. Let's go ahead. Make your salutations. Let's hear. Mm-hmm. Yes?
So, about the money thing that I was thinking about.
Oh, the money business?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Nobody ain't come to
Purchase any? You still have all on your hand?
Yep.
Well, I must say it was a good idea because it's a business idea where, of course, the old dollars, he garnered the old dollars and decided that if there are tourists, etc., he will, of course, sell it to them for souvenir purposes. They can't spend it. It is not legal tender. But, of course, he can do some business with it. Somebody will, by that money, may remember the trip to Trinidad, for example. Um, have you considered local people to sell it to as well? Because some people may say, well, in between such and such period, this was the dollar, and there are some people who save that. I think there's a name for persons who save iconic or old money. I can't remember it now, but I'm sure that we'll be able to get that before the program finishes. But go ahead. Hmm?
Um,
Go ahead.
Currency collectors.
Currency collectors, very good term, but there's a singular word to describe that. But money collector will suffice because that is what he is. But all money collector, not the current money, right? Not the current currency. Go ahead.
I'm trying to see if I can sell this, but one more thing. Who tell you the idea done?
No, I didn't say the idea. I just say you make no money yet.
Yeah, I'm still making money.
Okay, so you're still determined to sell these old notes for souvenir purposes. For souvenir purposes, you see, people are very malicious, and their minds are warped. Because I heard somebody saying that he is trying to palm off old money, suggesting that for new money. And nothing of the sort was said by me or by him. And we saw it as a business gesture, and for which 10 years he should be commended. And I would beseech you parents and adults in general to whom young people look up for guidance, to be an exemplar, to fashion how they should operate one to another, their peers, and of course growing up and becoming adolescent into adults. We must encourage them. We must motivate them, because I will tell you this. One of the successes of the United States is its ability to generate in a capitalist environment small businesses that grow into monopolies. Well, I don't want to say monopolies, but large businesses over time. Magnets. Yeah. So, why not in Trinidad? And in particular, the African community. I ain't wasting time. We have a phobia for business. I want to say that I too was struck with that. I noticed I saying was in past tense. But I realized that you need to have small businesses. And let me tell you this, the statistics will show that some 60% of the employment that you get in any country is as a consequence of small and micro businesses, whether it be selling doubles, whether it's selling tulum, whether it is a bar, whether you're selling, of course, market items or grocery items, as the case may be. All right, so that I have spoken enough. I just want to make sure that people understand the reason for this business idea. Unique. And of course, he's saying that he wants to sell it to tourists in particular. So he's looking for US money. I think it's fantastic. Don't you think so too? Make your comments as well, so we'll have our appreciation. For those who are positive, who see the glass half full as opposed to half empty. Go ahead, Joshua. What again you want to share with us?
Yeah, but new money and old money is kind of the same as just that one old and one new. They ain't make it any different.
Yes, but the big difference is you can't spend one.
Yeah, you can't
That's
spend
all.
the one money.
Right. And that makes it, of course, a souvenir, because you wouldn't get it right now if you go to the parlor, but they have to come to you to get an old dollar. And therefore, they have to pay for that based on your business model. Not so?
Yes.
All right, good. I want to make sure that That is clear.
Yeah, but I wanna ask you something.
Go ahead.
Some more old money.
You want to take the little bit of $100 bills I still have, boy?
But you're not gonna do anything with it?
Well, you come up with an idea. I want to sell mines too.
Well, I will sell it for you.
You will sell it for me. All right. So you want me to hire you as an agent to sell my old dollar bills?
What spy thing is this I anyway?
I want to know. I don't mind. All right, okay. I'll hire you as an agent to sell my remaining old dollars, TT dollars that I have, but of course for sales purposes, not to buy anything with it, but to see it as a souvenir. Just as how somebody comes to Trinidad and they will take back, or they will take back a little bit of roti, or they will take back, or they will take, of course, a jersey mark Trinidad and Tobago, something that is unique, a steel pan, for example, all of that, to tell the friends back home, well, listen, I have been to Trinidad and Tobago. All right. Anything else you want to share with us before you make your departure? I don't want to go into any academic work tonight because we have St. Vincent to look at, and I hope that Andy will join us pretty soon. Of course, as you know, we have still to roll out the virtual class. There we are, of course, in the virtual classroom. Yes, I have to punch on it. I have to expand and make certain that you understand. And then, of course, we also have another feature as well. We have a blackboard as well that we will be having physical. Somebody will go to the blackboard and do some work, etc. So we are behind. We are behind, of course, the cameras in this case. But there you are seeing it, and there's some work on the board already. Not clear as we would like, not as perfect as we would like, but of course, with the fullness of time, we will get there. All right, and of course, we're taking some time to roll out our academic program, but when it does, I want to say incidentally, and I want to thank, of course, the contributor for those desks. We don't have it in the classroom setting as yet, but you will be amazed when we put a camera to watch the physical presence. So whilst we have a virtual classroom, we have, of course, a blackboard, which will soon be turned into a whiteboard. We also have a classroom where we will have these young people come in a little earlier. We may start a little earlier in order to accommodate them. And then, of course, we'll start the big people session at 8 o'clock. So look for that. It will be time consuming for me. It will be exhausting for me. But I take pleasure to see young people just grow and develop. Particularly in an environment where people say and write them off as no goods, and they won't become anything. Well, of course, there is the biblical saying that they say nothing good comes from Nazareth. Well, of course, Jesus Christ came from Nazareth. All right? I'm not saying that Joshua or his colleagues or the others we will be encountering are Jesus's, but what I'm simply saying is that good could be made of them. They can become important contributing citizens in this country. All right. So I don't want to use any class. I would have gone to, of course, the equator and the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn tonight. And, of course, those, what I consider to be horizontal circles or lines that mark the different seasons. Whereas, of course, those vertical lines across the earth where Greenwich is considered to be the center, and that passes through a part of the United Kingdom called Greenwich. That's why they call it Greenwich. And there, of course, from there, you determine the time, and that is how we get time. We will look at that as well. So we have one line that determines those that move horizontally or is imagined horizontally around the globe. We'll have a globe as well to demonstrate. Don't frighten about that. And you will see, of course, the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, where the sun appeared to be going on to either end, as well as, of course, the Arctic Circle, yes, and the Antarctic Circle, yes, all of that you will be abreast of in due course. Joshua, these days I see you're doing some good maths, boy, multiplication, subtraction. What again you doing these days?
Fraction.
Fractions as well. What kind of fraction?
Vulgar fraction.
Vulgar fractions. Well, hey, come on, people want to say what happened there. Sleepy. And yeah, well, of course, we want to make sure that you are up, ready, and pepped and motivated, man. Right. And what other things you are doing mathematically?
Adding fractions, take away fractions, multiplying fraction, and dividing fraction.
All right. Okay. Very good. Very good. And what other new topic you will be going on to?
Basketball,
Decimals. All right. And what again?
percentage.
And percentage. Very good. What about I noticed that you were doing some 2D figures or shapes. Tell me something about that. 2D shapes, name a couple of them.
2D shapes are flat shapes.
Flat shapes, and give me some names of some of them now.
Circle, rectangle.
Circle. Talk hard and talk in the mic and watch the
circle,
cameraman.
rectangle,
Yes.
Pentagon, hexagon,
What? All that?
polygon.
Polygons. Well, polygons are those shapes with that are bounded by lines. So that is they call them generally polygons. So, but certainly there are different types, and of course you mentioned them. What about a circle? Circle is one of them.
Circle already.
Oh, you said circle already. Okay, right. You said hexagon. All right. What? You have a story to tell us about a hexagon in school and out of school, or you don't want to tell us because you told me. What happened in that instance?
They tell all already.
Yeah, you told the audience, or you just tell me and mommy
I tell you, mommy, and the audience.
and the audience already. All right, okay. About the hexagon
Yeah.
incident in school. You did? Well, I think it's worthy of repeating because there's a lesson I want to identify in this particular story. Go ahead, tell us again about that hexagon scenario that you
Well,
encountered.
it had 6 sides.
Uh-huh.
I saw a boy next to me and I said, hey, that's a hexagon.
That is a shape that was drawn on the board by Miss.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Now after I went on to Mrs. Hexagon, and I said hexagon.
So you told Miss that shape is an hexagon. All right. Okay.
Miss asked if I say that. I say, yeah, Miss. Miss say that I was talking nonsense. So when I tell Daddy give me a paper and I'll carry it back to school and show Miss.
I gave you a shape of an hexagon, and it has 6 sides. And when you showed it to Miss, what happened?
Miss just watch it. She just hand it back.
Okay, good. Well, it means that she accepted that you were correct. But how did you do it? Because you see, it is important not to embarrass Miss or Sir. So how did you approach Miss? Because you know you were right. It was a 6-sided figure, and that is a hexagon. Yes, you can't get away from that. A flat-sided, 6-sided figure is a hexagon, 6 sides. Just as our pentagon is 5 sides, right? So how did you approach Miss? That is the important thing here. How did you approach Miss? Let me hear. Miss is this. This is the thing I was telling you about. What is the approach? What was the approach?
I say, excuse me, Miss, I have something to show you.
Okay, you said, excuse me, Miss, you had something to show you.
Now after I give Miss two. Now after Miss take it.
Mm-hmm.
Now after she pull it. Then after she had on, she got it, she watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Then after she give it back like this.
Okay, all right. So you didn't say anything. You didn't say, Miss, is this I was referring to when I said yesterday that the shape on the board was a hexagon. You didn't say anything. You just give it to Miss.
You know, say Miss, excuse me, Miss, I have something to show you about what I was telling you yesterday.
Oh, right. Okay, that's what I want to hear about what you were talking about
hexagon.
yesterday. And then all right, then the point I am making here, let me give you the lesson here. Because it happens with parents as well. A child may know something that may not grasp your attention at the time. It is not humiliation. Let me repeat, it is not humiliation or in any way dampening or deflating any ego to say, well, listen, because you must say, well, this child, at the time when he pointed out on the board a six-sided figure and said, Miss, I am aware that that is a hexagon, and maybe for the moment, slip of whatever it is, for whatever reason, and she says, well, all right. But he comes now the next day and proves that it is in fact a hexagon. Then one would expect that the teacher or the parent or the individual who may not have been familiar, but at the time, not to say that they may have forgotten, for example, so I'm trying to use words to soften, but to highlight as well the fact that how the teacher or the parent or the individual must respond. And they must respond by recognizing that that young man went and do some research. That is good. That is good. That is the first thing must come to the teachers or the parent or the individual's mind. He went and to reinforce his point. And that is what we are teaching those young people, to research, do their work, and then, of course, if they are correct, even though the teacher may have slipped for the moment, and then, of course, give him a tap on his back or his shoulder and say, well done, yes, you are correct. Yesterday, maybe I didn't pay full attention to this. Because there are a lot of ways to, of course, redeem whatever deflation of ego that may have occurred because the child would have gone to at lengths to produce, to say that, listen, this is a hexagon in this case, and therefore, Miss, and I expect Miss to say, if I was the teacher, I'd say, yeah, boy, oh gosh, I would have gone as far as to say I didn't even know. So thank you very much, because I'll do my own research and so on, and next day come back. Because you are the teacher, just as the parent will also do. I thought it was important, of course, to evoke that kind of thinking and that kind of what I consider to be attitude that is required in such circumstances, so as to motivate that young man, because clearly he or she cannot be you. You are the teacher. You have trained and etc. etc. There everything that you wouldn't know everything, but the fact is that you are in charge of those young people, and therefore one of your responsibility is motivation, just as the parents and just as, of course, anybody that is an adult that encounters and the child believes that they could confide in order to, of course, advance themselves. They must be motivated. All right. So Joshua, well done. I think you did what was required, and I will encourage you to do more. Any parting words that you may have? Anybody talking on the thing? Just reboot. I think that might be the issue. Oh, no one is there as yet. All right, the people, of course, don't forget that the line is open, 337-6940, 337-6940. And, of course, don't forget our Christmas hamper project is rife. I want to thank immediately NGC. I want to thank National Flour Mills. I want to thank NP, National Petroleum Company, for responding positively to our efforts. I think they understand in the marketing and or public relations department of these institutions, small as it is, tokenistic as it is, but the fact is that it will help with the basket of food items that we will put together for the purposes of sharing and to supporting a good Christmas, or better than if there was none, Christmas for the less fortunate in the society. right? East Port of Spain, Laventille, Beetham, etc. Yes, indeed, of course, and I was just reminded of the the Syrian Lebanese Women's Association. We want to thank you as well for your consideration, and I understand that an overture was made by the organization that would have, of course, made the request. In this case, I can mention it because we will be mentioning them. The Shouta Baptist Learning Institute, led by a very dynamic lady. She has not asked me to, I have not consulted with her whether I should call her name, so I will not call her name, except to say that very dynamic, very, of course, aggressive in terms of doing what is required to make people's lives a little more tolerable in very difficult circumstances, particularly in current Trinidad and Tobago, where money is very difficult to come by. So I want to thank, of course, the Syrian Lebanese Women's Organization for their consideration. And indeed, of course, I know that issue of Pampers and milk for some 20 young mothers. I know the skeptic and the pessimists will say, who tell them to make the children and where the father and all of that. The fact is that they are saddled with the children who must eat and who must be sheltered, who must be nourished, and who must be clothed. And therefore to say that where are the fathers and why she would have made that a child and then looking for alms or handouts, I think is inhumane. Inhumane. That is irrelevant. The child is the most important thing here now because it exists, it is here. Of course, we can tell the mother, please, there are contraceptions and other means whereby you can engage and yet not produce. Let me put it that way. Yes, so Joshua, I thought it was important, of course, to piggyback on that situation with that hexagon in school, and of course, and to capitalize or to bring out what is expected of the adults. That is, he is 10 years of age. All right? I'm not criticizing the teacher because just in case she is watching and she is listening, I notice I didn't call any name and I didn't say the school either and all of that. Right? So, all right. And what class Joshua is in and all of that. Notice I didn't say that. So I don't want any kind of embarrassment except, of course, to have an object lesson to take away, and not just as far as teachers are concerned, but certainly parents and adults who, from time to time, children rely upon for guidance, encouragement, motivation, and indeed, of course, exemplars who they can follow. Joshua, any parting words? I see you only playing up with the money there. My mother used to say, don't play up with money, because it passed through so many hands, you never could tell what it carrying. That is irrational. The old people used to say, why not to play up with money?
I'm playing with it to make sure it sells.
Make sure it what?
I'm playing with it to make sure it sells.
Make sure it sells. All right. So you look as though he's doing some kind of simile. Let me hear. Talk hard. Capital what? Thanksgiving? What's that? In the United States? All right, okay. I was instructed to wish, of course, all persons who celebrate Thanksgiving in the United States, its territories, etc., because I'm sure that is happening in places like Puerto Rico as well. To have, of course, a very incident-free Thanksgiving, and of course, if you have extra, you can send a container of turkeys down to Trinidad, courtesy MLIO. We have, of course, a duty-free arrangement because we are exempted from duty by the government. And if you could send a container down to Trinidad, we will appreciate, so we could put, of course, in those hampers that we are putting together to make people's Christmas in these very difficult times and very difficult parts of the country, East Port of Spain, Lavington, Beetham, Sealots, Belmont, Chumacac, Sealots, etc., a better one.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead.
Yeah, but before I leave, I have
Yes.
something to show.
What's that?
You know what it is.
All right, okay. Tell you, show it now, man. Show it now, man. You show offer.
What you holding it?
sorry, no. I'm just jealous. I wish it was me. Who is that? Who is it? Tell us about that picture. What happened with that picture? Tell us what happened in the picture. Well, you seen the picture, but the scene, the Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the scene a baby in her hand, the scene your mother on the side of her, and the scene, of course, a love jersey. Notice the rocket on. But I want to know. I want to know the date, the time, when was that, and so on. And who is that baby?
That baby was me.
That baby was you? Oh my goodness, that baby was you. So it means therefore 10 years ago, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the Prime Minister today of Trinidad and Tobago, held you in her hands? All right, well, let me tell people where it was, because I was behind the camera, so I was taking the picture, so you couldn't see me there. But I was there, I was taking the picture. And I want to tell you, it was at the country club, what was called the country club, when, of course, the campaign for the 2015 general elections found itself in Maraval. And Joshua was just what he was, about a year old, if so much. And
Well, some months.
Some months because he's 10 now. So some months, because it's almost 10 years we had of the PNM. Of course, I'm not going to say anything about the PNM until he leaves. Yeah, but the fact is that he was just a toddler, not even a toddler, simply a baby. And of course, the current Prime Minister today, who eventually out of that elections became the opposition leader, clearly was holding him in her hands. Of course, when she saw him the other day, when she had the 100 days celebration, she was shocked and amazed to see that now she can't lift him up at all, far less to hold one of his hands. That's all? You didn't have a encounter with her?
Yeah, well, call him heavy.
All right, okay, so don't call it. All right, but you believe that she can lift you up? I was saying that she couldn't lift you up.
Yeah, that,
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right, but that means they call him heavy.
Well,
Just
if she can no longer hold you up.
Okay.
All right, okay. So he doesn't want the argument. All right, so there we have it. So people, go quickly. You have to leave now. Yes.
That's Super Blue, yeah.
Have to what?
Super Blue.
Oh, Super Blue as well. Oh yes. She tell us about Super Blue quickly and make your exit.
Super Blue is a Calypsonian. We was in a grocery and we see Super Blue coming in, and we just end up taking a picture with him. I still don't know who he is.
You take Super Blue, you don't know who he is. All right, okay. He's a Calypsonian, no, not Calypsonian really, a soca artist. He likes to call himself, of course, and had a very quite a number of hits, including, of course, road march hits and so on. I remember Soca Baptist.
I don't know why you like
Baptist. Soca Baptist.
I don't know why you like.
Go and get it. Or you want me to get it now for you?
Yeah, but I don't know why you like to embarrass yourself. So.
Yeah, I embarrass myself. I hear you, my son. So I can't sing then. So you tell me I can't sing?
You can't.
I can't sing. All right, okay. Well, let's see if we can get Super Blue and Soka Baptist. Let's see, Soka Baptist, Baptist. Right, Baptist, a blue boy, right? Good. So here's the background, people. So that's the background, people.
Listening to a prayer meeting, Baptist people preaching, with a leader in front, half people shaking. So I tell my part.
What that is good for? Let me tell the other students that are out there. In social studies, they may well, of course, talk about Calypsonians as part of our culture. And Super Blue will be one of the names that you may well have an assignment to bring to your teacher or return to your teacher about Calypsonians and the successful ones at that. So this fella Super Blue, and of course we'll ask you his real name and all of that. But this is one of the tunes. All right, son. So there you got it. There you have it. So you got a lesson today in social studies, and of course we look at your venture as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's get on with the big people business now. Thank you very much. Just say your good night and bye bye. Okay, bye bye, son.
Now leave my phone when I come back home.
No coming back on. So take up that mic. Yes. Well, people, of course, we are here, big people business now. The line is open. Let me make sure that that line is working because some people try. Oh yeah. Yes, indeed. Some people try and may not have got, may have been trying and not getting through. Let me make sure that the line is on. All right. So that is up and it's now engaging. Yes. Joshua forget to say, of course, he has his test that begins next week, Monday. All right, so people, the line is open, and you can, of course, engage us now. Let me just make sure that that video that I was playing in the background continues. Oh. Yes, not that one. The one with respect to the elections that was completed today. Yes, indeed, completed today in St. Vincent. I'm hoping that Andy would have called us during the course of the program. It is now just about 10 minutes to 9 o'clock. Is that it? Yes, I'm seeing that. Yes, 10 minutes to 9 o'clock. So we have some time, just above half an hour. In fact, yeah, 40, 40 minutes again before, of course, we close. Let me see if I can get Andy. I think that would be most appropriate because he is macroing, to use, of course, a colloquial expression. He's macroing at this point in time because we had to be clandestine, we had to be secretive, we had to be out of sight, whilst, of course, in St. Vincent, monitoring the goings on. And of course, our considered view is that the yellow will, of course, win the elections. But let's get to Andy. I think that is important. Let me call Andy and see if he is available. All right, so let's see. So I'm calling Andy at this point. Yes, let's see what is happening there. All right. In the meantime, of course, if you have a call to make, I'll try to give way, cut this call to Andy, and of course engage you. Let me make sure here, right? We have everything in place. All right. Let's see. Taking some time, I suppose. Probably the technology and the distance that he is but he is in St. Vincent, somewhere in St. Vincent, monitoring, of course. He will be at the camp of the Yellow, yes, that party, headed by Dr. Friday. I think he was a lecturer or something like that. And he, in a university. I didn't get much of him in terms of his background. But what I know is that the people on the ground seem to be shifting. So let's get to Andy and see if Andy would be able to give us some information as to what is happening in St. Vincent at this time. Or it may be that the results is a small place, just over 100,000 people. So the electorate might be just about half of that. So it shouldn't be difficult to call and hold an election and get a result very early after 5 o'clock. I think their polling period is between 7 and 5, 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Let me try again. Yes, indeed. So he may well be on a plane coming back to Trinidad because he has to be on the ground report tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow will not be a day for Lennox Smith and Joshua to be on the corridor transformation, but certainly we will be back on Saturday. I'm trying to get, of course, Andy in St. Vincent, somewhere in St. Vincent, hopefully not at the airport. And even if he's on his way to the airport, he should be able to, pick up his phone and communicate. If not, we will say, well, we'll wait until tomorrow when I'm sure, will be back and hopefully in studio. If not, if he remains in St. Vincent, as you saw over the last 2 days, he has been able to stay in St. Vincent and still communicate with us on the ground report, that is. All right. All right, so we are calling, going once or going twice. No response as yet. We want to get some preliminary results of what is happening in St. Vincent. I can, of course, take a link to St. Vincent via YouTube or Facebook, but I wouldn't do that. If I don't get Andy. I prefer to get Andy's engagement, Andy's assessment as to the turnout in terms of the rate of voting and the amount of persons that would have exercised their franchise. Those details, of course, we will extrapolate in due course. We will be looking at. I was only there for literally several hours, so really and truly, normally I would, get the data and translate it to our audience, so whether here in Trinidad or farther afield. But on this occasion, because of the security measures that we had to take, I was not inclined to be exposed on the media too much. But certainly back in Trinidad, on Saturday, we'll certainly, of course, look at the results and some of the historical antecedent as far as the records are concerned. Those persons who record elections and so on and monitor elections called sophrologists, the sophrologists Sunday, and what they would have had to say following St. Vincentian elections over time. All right, it's clear we would not get Andy. So, of course, I want to say that the line is open, 337-6940. Don't forget, of course, we will not have the benefit of Mr. Tagarigua. As I said, he met his demise. But, of course, he would like us to pursue and persevere and not to, of course, give in or give up. And therefore, he would see, I could see him indicating to us that we will be cowardice. We will be in a state of fright or trepidation to, of course, succumb to the evils that surround us. But let's go to the line. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Yes, Mr. Diego Martin. Let me just ramp up the volume. Go ahead.
Well, the projection is the NDP. I just saw it on the St. Vincent Times.
Okay.
10 for the NDP, 5 for Gonzales.
Well,
So it
there
looks
you have
like
it. So a total of 15 seats is up. Was up for grabs.
yeah. The last time, well, the projection was 8-7 in favor of Ralph Gonzalez based on the Canadian pollster. Remember the Canadian
Yeah,
pollster
yeah, yeah.
predicted
Remember, yeah, the fake.
Jean Pierre.
Yeah, no long.
Right.
Like in Trinidad, of course, the what they not the what they not something pollsters who, of course, said that Kamala is so weak that, of course, she's frail, and of course, Rowley has the edge, and why she may not have the likability, all kinds of excuse to be wrong. Let me put it that way. But go ahead.
We could now start diversifying our economy, from the agriculture sector. A lot of pui plants could be sold right up the CARICOM. Planting pui, yellow pui, right through.
I hear you, my friend. I hear,
You understand?
as you mentioned that, just after the elections, whilst of course we were looking at yellow, Pui around that time of the year by coincidence it just happened because remember the
It blew
election
all,
was
all
not
over the place.
yeah
April is pui.
but remember the election was not to be called the domain of the opposition. It was the incumbent prime minister that did that. And he did it at a time when the Pui was about
Pui
to
was
be
blooming.
in bloom. Yeah. And boy, I went down to Chagaramas and I saw a piece of land jutting into the sea. I was covered with this beautiful yellow. And I said, look, Rowley. And of course, we were advocating during the course of the campaign who the gods wish to destroy. They first sent them mad. And of course, that showed that was the epitome of madness and manifested, of course, in so much beautiful plume of yellow. Well, bloom of yellow. I should say plume because plume will refer to feathers. But yes, go ahead.
But the tourism minister, Kama,
Uh-huh.
he wants to beautify the whole of all the highways with poetry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, that is a project, and I think one of them paying him want to know why.
I hear you. Mr. I want to get you on the phone. So Mr. Diego Martin is on. So if you could call just after, right? So I'm cutting you off. No disrespect, but I want to make sure.
Let him come in.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead. He has gone off the handset. He's on the handset now. I want him where you are. So you have to go for him to come. So, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I say my piece for the night.
I thought. Okay. I thought that you had some water.
Nice.
I thank you very much, of course, for that piece of information. So he's saying that 10 for the yellow and, of course, the red are around 5 because it's 15 seats and all. I didn't take the time to even look at what was up for grabs. So concerned was I with the security issue and any vacuum or any shortfall that we would have had for both Andy and myself in terms of our safety. Mr. Grandy, Mr. Diego Martin has concluded his contribution. He wanted to give us an update as to what the polls are saying. So let's take this call. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Yeah, Lennox, good night. How are you doing?
Well, of course, very fine. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Lenny from Miami.
Hey, man, how you going? Long time no hear from. Yes.
Yeah. I was just making sure that you guys safe. Anyway, I am following up. I'm following up the where I have everything I'm watching at. And Gonzalez is finished.
Well, yes.
He's done.
Just as Rowley.
He's done, but
yeah, just as Rowley.
And I am talking about bad. I mean, it is bad. It's Probably he might be lucky if he wins his seat. He
Lucky when he
might be
sees.
lucky
I hear you.
if he wins his.
I hear
I
you.
mean, it's a runaway horse. It's a runaway horse.
Okay,
I
okay. A
mean,
landslide of
but
exceptional nature. Landslide.
oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it could be
and,
an
and
avalanche.
yeah, like I always tell my boy
Yeah.
that I grew up in a God-fearing home, and when you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and it is so amazing to see how when people are hurting, and see what the leaders are doing to
Yeah,
their
boy.
country.
Yeah, boy.
How this is not like long ago, Lennox. This is not like long ago.
Yeah, this is
Those
serious
young
business,
people,
man.
those young people nowadays, they're not standing for that like our parents. They're not standing for that like our parents.
Yeah.
And thank God that this is happening, so that the rest of the CARICOM countries like Myanmar and the one from St. Lucia and all the others, they will be trembling in their boots after tonight. After tonight, you know. So
Yeah.
I just wanted. I know you
Yes,
didn't get
yes,
Andy, so I
indeed.
just wanted. I just wanted to let you all know. But
Thank you very much.
I'll be
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'll be locked on tomorrow morning, and
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
I'll
we'll have
talk
a
with
full
Andy.
report for you tomorrow morning. I have no doubt. Yes,
Yeah.
full
All
report.
right. You and your family and my loving people in Trinidad have a blessed night.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much as well for calling from Miami. Let me try to get this call.
Man.
All right, let me just
All
get this
right.
off. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Of course, of course, the wind of change, the meteoric wind of change, the massive and the monolithic wind of change, clearly beginning, of course, in the most southern part of the Caribbean, and heading, of course, north along the archipelago, because we are archipelago, yes, a group of islands. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to each and every one of the listeners on the Corridor Transformation. Share, share, share. We need the 40,000 people. So if you take 3 fingers and you press the button of 10,000 people, we reach 40,000 in 3 seconds time. Or if not, your thumb finger and your index finger, just take up $1 and pass by George Street and drop it off, please. We need to make our children feel happy and to have them know that there's a purpose to serve in life as voters, to keep the PNM out of this land. Never, ever, 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 never again shall the PNM win election in Trinidad and Tobago or get a seat. Because you see, my children, stand your ground legislation to defend your own life when the criminal elements come in your property. They say you have no rights to stand your ground. So, Uncle Lennox, a good night to you and your listeners. So, you see, now, I would like to ask you, did you get the little things I sent you on your phone?
Oh my goodness, I omitted to deal with it today, but there's so many different things and all kind of moving parts. But certainly I will do it tonight.
No, no, no.
I'll show you. Okay.
No, it's not important, but
I'm saying that to say I did not. Go ahead.
yeah, I know you have to say it in a lovely way so that, you would tell your boy that, hey, I didn't have time to listen to your stupidness, boy. It's okay. But Uncle Lennox, I still love
I
you.
did say that.
You-
All right, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, end of quote. End of quote.
I hear you.
So, Uncle Lennox,
Yeah.
no, I want to just pronounce on this little thing a little bit. May I?
Go ahead,
Because-
my friend. I mean, you have the leeway,
Because-
as usual.
Yeah, because on the passing of our counselor at Superior Borough Council in the way she had died, right? I see it fit to send this recording, right, to you and all Andy and all the other talk shows and them that I could have sent it
Okay.
to let them see how it is be like when a husband and wife, right? How a husband, when they have a gambling problem, drinking problem, right? And there is not manning up to their responsibility. And when a woman decide to walk out a relationship, how the men and them just come and hung them down. And then for some strange reason, just go in the police station now and get the police to sympathize with them as the victim. Right? So these are some of the things, right? I want the listeners and them to know, right? That how our fabric society make up. And when these breakdowns come along, family values and morals, right? The chain, a reaction, it continue because others will emulate and imitate others in doing the same thing because there is no law, right? And there is no redress. But if we could take it from the early stages, right? And like how we have these evidence and they put it, that you have them being in the penal system or something that they have to go to rehab, right? And prove themselves that, you know, it will avoid leading to murder, suicide.
Yes.
Because far too long, in with law, because you have all the laws there. But you see, they just get a victim by themselves. And when they get a victim by themselves, that's how it is be. So we as a society, just as stand your ground legislation, we should have the power as citizens to stand up and defend women or men in situation like that. Because the police cannot be everywhere, anytime, all the time. So this is why the law should give the average citizen.
Just hold on, Mr. Faizabad. I just want to have this person speak a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's the news you're
I'll give it.
Hold on. What's the news you're bringing? No, Mr. Faizabad, I didn't want you to go. I want you to hold on. But go ahead, caller. Yeah. The only one who won the seat is Rav Gonzalez?
He alone, and the other side gets 14-1 to...
Or 14-1 of the 15 seats. Wow. That's a tragedy.
That's all I can tell you, sir. No body person and they're celebrating.
Celebrating. Okay, well, I suppose that's why Andy, we can't get Andy because we tried to get Andy, of course. They had persuaded him to wait until, of course, the results, and he will, of course, be part and parcel of the process of announcing the result. But it's as though he's part and parcel of the celebration of the results.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much for that piece of information.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Yes. So, of course, there seemed to be a final tally now, 14-1, and the lone, of course, lucky lone incumbent that retained his seat is the former Prime Minister. We have to say former Prime Minister now, of course, Ralph Gonzalez. All right, so devastating was, of course, the information surrounding him and his family, etc., and therefore the bunch of what we call in Trinidad miscreants, and of course what I also call persons who has a genuine elasticity to not pilfer, but to raid the treasury of the country. And of course, what we were hearing on the ground was exactly what transpired in Trinidad in terms of the humongous pillage of the treasury of the country. And we always look at the symbolic epitome of that rude, atrocious, and devastation of our treasury by the PNM by identifying the monstrosity called Balize House, where in 2015, Rowley said that the PNM was bankrupt and in fact was owing over $5 million. That was his inheritance as the leader of that so-called formerly, and I must use the word formerly, venerable organization. And now, suddenly, in less than 10 years, they were constructing something for over $100 million. Where the hell they get the money from? Let's go to the lines. Sorry about that, Mr. Faizabad, but I thought the information that the caller had brought to us was sufficient to interrupt you. I didn't ask you to leave, I asked you to hold on, but that's all right. That's the kind of mannerism that you have. Total respect because you have given way, and thank you very much for that. But of course, I understand it is 14-1. And the one seat that Gonzalez party and is he. So he'll be the lone representative of that party in, of course, the parliament when it would have convened. Go ahead, Mr. Faizabad.
I thank you, Uncle Lennox. But Uncle Lennox, the next time you give me all these sweet words for that saying, I shall hang up and give way because I have autopsy. It's okay. Listeners only hear Uncle Lennox's insult man, beat man, buff man. You want to know if I had any autopsy. But anyway, Uncle Lennox, if that news is good news, right? I only hope it's not like, it's like how the EBC and Rowley declared election, you know? Because the EBC, the election was going in the favor that we had 30 seats in the United National Congress, you know?
Yes,
and Rowley come and say he gets more seats.
Even Laventil West, the seat that my party contested under, of course, the arrangement with the coalition of interests and the UNC. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Philip, right? His seat that was still under question.
Yes,
and
that's
the
right.
EBC. Because I just only hope now that in St. Vincent, it had no big set of coffee selling in big packs over there, no? Because if the EBC had coffee and a coffee machine, then the Friday, every day going to be Friday, it will end up being Thursday. Because the EBC, if it's a coffee kind in St. Vincent, we have to take to concern. I talking plain, no? No, I get mouth.
Yeah. Don't talk boat, talk plane. Go ahead.
Yeah, because here what's going on. No, I want them to send letter and send paper. Because you know why? Nobody never challenged them to send a protocol action letter. And the official result ain't come out and the bond ballot. So here what's going on now. I'm glad and congratulations to Man Friday. Because if that is true, I'm glad what he said Vincent do. They keep Ralph Gonzalez there so grass will grow between his, and then he will have to answer in Parliament. But if that is true, Uncle Lennox, we will have a by-election for Ralph Gonzalez soon because he will run. He's going to run. He will stand up to take that scrutiny.
That ego, just as what Rowley did, Rowley smelled the rat and he got out. But of course, he would not have stayed and take some of what he meted out to others. He can't take that because they are simply hypocrites and cowardice. Yeah. Total betrayers, perfidious as the author might well want to describe them.
So, congratulations again, if that is genuine news, and I'm proud to let the Caribbean of said islanders know that the power lies in their hand And that is why I ask the people of Lavantil who you're helping, that the local election is coming,
Yep.
that the city corporation must go yellow. Paint that yellow. Because you see how much donkey years that remain with the PNM. And for the love of God, the city, the capital, look at it, the dump lower down the road, still more beautified with flowers and trees and greenery than the city capital walkway and byways. The promenade, it need, I don't know what it need, but it need not only TCL, it need a bit of TLC or what, but it need every urgent hand to bring it as how it's supposed to be. Look, shame on them. So people understand the power of change and the new millennium is in our hand, and stand up and be counted. Well done. Uncle Lennox, a pleasant good night. We'll talk more on the issue tomorrow night.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, not tomorrow night, on Saturday night, but certainly tomorrow morning on the ground report, when, of course, I expect Andy either to be in Trinidad or somewhere in St. Vincent, still recuperating from the success and well, put it another way, of the success of the prediction that has manifested itself in the outcome of the elections in St. Vincent. Of course, it's not confirmed, but certainly that margin means that for sure Yellow has won. Of course, we still have to confirm the margin of victory, but what we know that no way, we got a call from, of course, United States. We got one from right here in Trinidad, and I think we got another one where, of course, they have been monitoring. I am minded to maybe take a sneak peek of the results in St. Vincent. We can do that from here. I have no difficulty with that because I expected Andy to be doing that, but that did not happen. So let's see if we can get something from St. Vincent at this point in time. I think is only fair. But of course, the line is open. I think there was one call that we have not yet been able to engage. Talking about Mr. Sandy Grandi. So, Mr. Sandy Grandi, you can call now. I think the lines are cleared. You would forgive me for, of course, disengaging, because I want to make sure the valuable contribution that you make, typically, that of course we give credence to it, we give satisfaction, we give, of course, the right tone. So a pleasant good night, my friend. Pleasant good night.
Pleasant good night to you, Mr. Smith, and
yes,
and Joshua boy.
Yes.
Yes. What I was calling to tell you, because I was looking at the result also now.
Okay.
So do you remember last time I tell you yellow is the code?
Oh yeah, yellow is the code. It was always the code.
Yeah.
That's what we went across here for. Yes.
And we were talking about Kamala will cuff them down too. You remember that?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Do you remember we was talking about physically she wouldn't be able to cuff it down, but spiritually she'd be able to cuff it down, right?
Yeah, and I was saying, of course, she, according to Imbert, she could give him a cup that will send him to St. Vincent. Is a good thing? It's a good thing. It's a good thing she didn't give him the cup, because if he ended up in St. Vincent, they would have seen him as a total blight. Yeah. Well, I'm concerned. They would have said, "You blighted man." Yeah. You know, he liked to quote biblical stories and so on, believing that somehow he's some kind of what I consider be prophet or biblical scholar. But of course,
yes,
he now have to spend his own dollar. But go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Ralph Gonzalez make the ultimate mistake by putting Kamala, so to speak. You know, he should never call Kamala name. You're calling a spiritual woman name. in your election. That was a big mistake. So you end up with a spirit blow. You see?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
I hear you.
why I know he want to come out of jail. Like how he better deal with Kamala, because Kamala is his way out. And the way he interfere with Kamala there, he might get a spiritual blow too. He might get a cuff where he might end up in an American jail, not in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but straight in the American jail. So he don't have to watch it. Don't call Kamala name in your mouth, because that woman is God in front and she behind. This is a serious thing. We might be looking at it as a joke, right? But she might have her way how she dealing with people in the assessment.
Oh, yes.
Do you understand? She might be dealing with people in she room, close up, and tell Mr. B, sister, get out, you know. You understand what I'm saying? Because she dealing with she God. He has ways people are dealing with things, you know.
Yes, yes,
yes. And Gonzal should have never interfere with she. That's the biggest mistake in it. Right? So I just hope you can get in touch with Mr. Andy William. I know, well, if he had run for his seat too, he would have wanted it in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Oh, yes, he would have been Gonzalez there and all. Yeah, because, I mean, it was easy picking. It was like taking candy from a baby. From the Of course, I have a live feed, and I'm seeing, of course, 411. 411. So something might have transpired by the time the caller who told us it was 14-1. By the time they got their information, and by the time they got it to us, clearly things might have changed. So that, of course, there's additional 3 seats to it, it appears. I will be, of course, taking the live feed in a moment. I just want to make sure that you have your fill and your contribution is well, of course, ventilated.
Well, you know, me and you have to have we kicked on that, right?
Okay.
So later on, man.
Okay then. Thanks very much, of course, for giving way. Let me just try to get things in perspective here. Yes, indeed. Let me put on the. I want to put on the volume as well, so that you will have an idea as to what is transpiring in St. Vincent as we speak. Yes. Let me just put on the volume on this, so you'll have an idea as to what is happening. Yes, indeed. All right. Did I put it on? Not hearing the commentators. Let me just make sure that that feed is booted. Right. So that is where we are. So it is live right now in St. Vincent, and I'm not getting an audio. I'm not getting an audio. Maybe I should look at a different frequency. Yeah, but certainly what this live is saying is that, of course, it's 11-4, and that, of course, the NDP has won the general elections. Yes, indeed, in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines 2025 elections results. So that is what you are seeing there on the screen at this point in time. Let me find another station or another platform to see whether or not we can glean from it audio, because this one doesn't have the audio. Yeah, it doesn't have the audio. So let me get back to something else. Reaction news, I said that 3 hours ago. Election day, St. Vincent elections. All right, let me just try this one and see.
Good evening and welcome to our special presentation for SVG TV News for Thursday, November 27, 2025, Election Day here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Counting is currently underway after most polling stations across St. Vincent and the Grenadines closed at 5 p.m. today for the country's general election. According to the Electoral Office, 103,524 registered voters were eligible to participate in the election across 15 constituencies. East Kingston recorded the highest number of registered voters with 9,369, followed by South Leeward with 8,627 and West St. George with 8,024. A total of 250 polling stations were in operation nationwide. And voting proceeded steadily throughout the day in most constituencies, with no major disruptions reported, except for an incident at the polling station in Fitzhugh, North Leeward, involving the incumbent Unity Labour Party ULP candidate Carlos James. James was reportedly asked to leave the polling station after concerns were raised about his presence inside the voting area during the active polling period. On the electoral regulations, candidates and unauthorized individuals are not permitted inside the voting area except under specific circumstances. In a Facebook post, James claimed, quote, thrown out of a polling station by a politically biased police officer for objecting to two opposing agents sharing a desk. The very polling station we had 29 defective ballots rejected in 2020. But God is good, unquote. Election officials have not issued a statement on the incident, and there were no additional reports of disruptions throughout the voting process. St. Vincent and the Grenadines typically experiences high voter engagement, and elections are often closely contested between the Unity Labour Party, the ULP, in government since 2001, and the New Democratic Party, the NDP, the main opposition. North Leeward, where today's incident occurred, has been regarded as a competitive constituency in recent election cycles. Preliminary results are anticipated later this evening. And despite long lines and a slow voting process, citizens across the country turned out in strong numbers. Many voters waited patiently for hours, determined to place their X next to the candidate of their choice. Throughout the morning and into the afternoon, the atmosphere at several polling locations remained orderly but energetic, with voters demonstrating a strong sense of civic responsibility. While some expressed frustration over the extended wait times, most said it was a small sacrifice for the opportunity to participate in the democratic process. Many voters noted that regardless of the results, they were proud to have exercised their democratic right. They emphasized the importance of unity and respect once the final count is announced, adding that the nation's progress depends on continued involvement, cooperation, and mutual respect among its citizens.
Well, for the first time, I'm looking on for the best. I say I can't look on for the worst. Yeah, now it's time we need our changes. And I hope Vincent John could start to himself and get up and see what it's all about. Don't afraid. You have a right to know what you want. You have a right to choose to do anything you feel like. And understand, my brothers? So that's how it is in this country.
So we can't take on what's going on in this country right now. Everything for better right now. We choose who we choose. We decide we want to uplift our country. You understand? We never this way in them state here. Never be so. You understand? So we have to look out for the youths them in this time. Me don't come and got grandchildren, so I have to look for my youths and them. You check me?
So, yeah, it's kind of slow, but it's just moving.
To see a lot of young people come out this time and vote around South Windward. We have to defend my boy.
Well, I'm about a month now. About this is about the sixth time now I'm voting, and I'm proud of it.
Our former national player for this country has done well, and it's my franchise, my right to vote today. And I'm voting for my country, And the process is a little too slow for me. For all my years voting, very, very slow. I don't know if the rain, because the rain coming so long from the process, but from my observation, the process is very, very slow.
May the best party win today, and I'm hoping that my party will get into power. Have a blessed evening, and later we're going to celebrate.
In West Kingstown, the situation was no different, as many voters turned out before 6 a.m. at the Lomans Anglican School several persons even braved the rain to ensure they cast their ballots. Opposition candidate and incumbent Daniel Cummins said he was pleased with the turnout but raised concerns about overcrowding at one polling location.
There are long lines at all polling stations, not just here in West Kingston, but wherever I go in Kingston, it's the same thing. But we seem to have a severe difficulty right here at Lomond Anglican Primary School, because while the supervisor of the election sent out a notice to say there are 4 stations at the school and 2 at the annex, without any notice, they have put all 6 stations in the small primary school, and it's created a very crowded and congested scenario where people are having difficulty even in locating a polling station. And in addition to that, we had the other side right at the entrance to the school, putting up a tent on the school compound, which we had to get the police to remove. I mean, the laws are known to everybody that there should be a certain distance away from the polling station. And why they have to so blatantly disobey the law, why they're so blatantly disobeying the law is very difficult to understand. I mean,
Cummins, who does not vote in the constituency, said he will be visiting other...
So people, of course, those misogynic individuals, those persons who have a propensity, whether directly or indirectly, when in government, to engage in geronticide, the killing of our senior citizens. We saw that, of course, during the COVID period, when, of course, the Rowley administration claimed that they were #1 in the world, but it turned out, of course, to be the most deadliest, comparatively speaking, and, of course, per capita in the world. Yet still, they boasted of that. And then when they were told that the amount of potholes since 2020 thereabout, or just before 2020, and therefore the COVID period, if you want to call it that, after COVID, they turned and said they were too busy saving lives. That's why all those potholes and therefore vehicles were in jeopardy all over the country with the neglect and the poor preventive maintenance of the byway and the main thoroughfare of the country. And therefore, let us not waste time. And so therefore, I am saying that Gonzales is another relic, just as Rowley, and therefore relegated to the dustbin of political history, never again to rise. Don't believe that there are any Lazarus, never again to rise. Because as one of the commentators rightly said, young people are not taking that nonsense from these old quinks who have ruled for too long and have endured and at the same time destroyed the social, economic, and psychological fabric of their respective countries. And tonight, it was St. Vincent's turn to generate the catharsis, the purging of these relics, as Trinidad and Tobago did on the 28th of April this year. So on this day, the 27th of November, St. Vincent followed suit, as we expect St. Lucia so to do, in their, of course, turn at the crease, so to speak. As we continue, of course, to generate the paradigm shift that is required, both at the micro level, at the community level, as well as at the macro level. Yes, indeed. So we have come to the end of our broadcast tonight. Yes, indeed. We have come to the end tonight. And of course, from the information I have, is that it is 11-4. 11-4, 15 seats contested, the incumbent Gonzalez led 4. Let's see if we get a further update so that I can adjust my own results. Go ahead, President. Good night. Yes.
Lennox, that thing we have in the background data about delay here because on my end it's saying 12-3. That same thing we have up in the back of here.
12-3 now.
Yeah, okay. It's about delay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you see, so it's a good thing we waited. I was going to close off, but I know that somebody will come up with something else because the situation is volatile.
That thing we're viewing it from, like that whole thing about delay in it. Because I've been going through all the different networks and I realize it's about delay somewhere. But that number we had there is 12 right now.
Okay. Let me check another one and see. Let me check another one and see if I'll get another. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, of course, people. It just goes to show. Yes. I'm seeing an update. Yes. It's 12-3 now. Let me just put it up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, of course, for that intervention. It would have been remiss of me if I left, of course, with should I say, the wrong information as far as the final outcome is concerned. Let me just make sure and get this going. Yes, indeed. Look at here. So we have it here. Yes, we have it here, right. So it's 12-3. Who knows, before the night finish, it might well be, as one caller did indicate, even though she might have got it beforehand, I suppose, that it is 14-1. But as the caller rightly said, and I checked it out, because this, what I am viewing is live from St. Vincent. And as he said, we might have had a delay. So here it is that we have updated the situation in St. Vincent as far as the outcome of that 27th of November elections in St. Vincent. We weren't able to get in contact with Andy. I don't know if he's taking a swift plane across. If I was him, I would have taken an extra day just to touch base with those persons who we would have encountered and who we would have gained friendship with, just to make sure that we get the kind of cooperation that we would want to have. And there are some additional beautiful information as far as spreading the wings of the ground report is concerned. And I suspect that the corridor transformation will piggyback on that as we move forward in sharing and disseminating and making certain that the truth and nothing but the truth, unadulterated, is, of course, pure and without any blemish to the intelligence or into the intellect of the recipients, which of course are you, and you in return, in reciprocity, will of course share yours with us, and in that way we have a better AI than AI itself, because there could be no better brain than that of the human brain. It's the human brain that invented the AI. It's to say that the AI will take over. Artificial intelligence I'm talking about, but that is what it is. Artificial, it is not natural, but has value, has use for human existence in a contemporary, modern, 21st century world. All right? So I want to, of course, thank all and sundry for your staying with us, with, of course, the information that you shared with us, and of course the update. I feel I can feel much more comfortable now knowing that that might well be the final tally, 12-3. It would be, and it could be, 14-1, because the claim was that only Gonzalez won his seat. But we will see. But this is nothing short of a landslide. This is nothing short of an avalanche. This is nothing short of brutal electoral licks for Gonzalez and his team, and deservingly so. Deservingly so. And let, of course, the healing begin. And let the people of St. Vincent reign supreme in, of course, resting assured that countries such as Trinidad and Tobago will, of course, be in close ties and cooperation, ensuring that together in a symbiotic relationship existing for our mutual benefit, that we move forward as Caribbean brothers and sisters in this Caribbean civilization, in this part of the world called the Western Hemisphere, where, of course, the greatest country in the world resides just north of us, and we must be able to so capitalize. So, people, have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. And let me, of course, play that song for those misogynic leaders that have been replaced by the people, young people in particular, for the evil and the devastation they brought onto the people of, in this case, St. Vincent, and in the other case, Trinidad and Tobago, and no doubt in the other islands, as this revolution of change, because of the toxicity, because of the evil, because of the wickedness of incumbent governments that exploited the people. And the relationship has been one of brutality in exchange for votes, in exchange for the reposing of their trust, the people that is, in these parties that form the government. And then they betray, and betray, and betray, and betray, until, of course, the people say enough is enough. It has happened to the PNM. It has happened, of course, to the ULP in St. Vincent tonight. And we expect it will happen also in St. Lucia. There should be no halt to this movement, this merciless rump and chant for dignity, for a return to true democracy, for the non-undermining of the institutions of independence, including, of course, the rule of law. And we must also hold sacred the fact that the independence of the judiciary, the independence of the executive, the independence of the parliament or the legislature must be held sacred. It must be sacrosanct. And in that calling and in that discussion, we as human beings must eternally defend and protect our democracy. As Ronald Reagan would have said, every successive generation has a responsibility to hold dearly and to defend the democracy that their generation would have inherited. And so we leave future generations to inherit a democracy that gives recognition to equity, to give recognition to equality, in other words, and to give recognition to the possibility as the governments become the facilitators to live a decent life, a quality of life and standard of living, all of us aspire to achieve. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless, and see you tomorrow night. See you tomorrow night? No. You will see me tomorrow morning on the ground report and on Saturday night on the corridor transformation. Let us end, of course, as we began. Getting rid of and identifying those who would have been engaged in the abuse of women, misogynic statements, and therefore tonight and of course on the 28th of April was in response to that. But listen to the essence of the concern as delivered in song by none other than the late singing Sandra.